Statsproblems.com was used to create this tutorial, which can help us calculate a chi-square goodness of fit hypothesis test. Let's begin by selecting one of the 25 example problems. The question appears in the blue box. Determine if distribution of observed frequencies fit an expected probability distribution. For the first category, the observed frequency is 15 and the expected probability is 1/2. For the second category, the observed frequency is 35 and the expected probability is 1/2. Alpha is 0.05. What are the results of the chi-square goodness of fit hypothesis test? Let's step through the solution by clicking on the Next Step button. In Step 1, we calculate the sum of the observed frequencies. The sum of the observed frequencies equals the first category frequency of 15 and the second category frequency of 35, which works out to 50. In Step 2, we calculate the expected frequencies for each category. For the first category, the expected frequency is the expected probability of the first category times the total number of outcomes. In this example, the expected frequency for the first category is 1/2 times 50, which works out to 25. For the second category, the expected frequency is the expected probability of the second category times the total number of frequencies. In this example, the expected frequency for the second category is 1/2 times 50, which works out to 25. In Step 3, we calculate the chi-square values for each category. Chi-square for category I is the observed frequency minus the expected frequency squared divided by the expected frequency. For the first category, the chi-square value is the observed frequency minus the expected frequency squared divided by the expected frequency. In this example, the chi-square value for category 1 is 15 minus 25 squared divided by 25, which works out to minus 10 squared divided by 25, which works out to 100 divided by 25, which works out to 4. For the second category, the chi-square value is the observed frequency minus the expected frequency squared divided by the expected frequency. In this example, the chi-square value for category 1 is 35 minus 25 squared divided by 25, which works out to 10 squared divided by 25, which works out to 100 divided by 25, which works out to 4. In Step 4, we calculate the sum of chi-square values for all categories. Sum of chi-square values for all categories equals the chi-square value for the first category, 4, plus the chi-square value for the second category, 4, which works out to 8. In Step 5, we find the critical chi-square value. We need degrees of freedom to look up the critical value for the hypothesis test. In a chi-square goodness of fit test, the degrees of freedom are the number of categories minus 1. Degrees of freedom, df, equals the number of categories, n, minus 1. In this example, df equals 2 minus 1, which works out to 1. With alpha equals 0.05, we need to look up the critical value for df equals 1. Use interactive table 10 to find critical chi-square value. Using the alpha equals 0.05 table and df equals 1, we find the critical chi-square value of 3.841. We close this window to return to the analysis, which shows the critical value from table with df equals 1 is 3.841. In Step 6, we test the hypothesis. The observed chi-square value of 8 is greater than or equal to the critical chi-square value of 3.841, so we reject the null hypothesis. In addition to the 25 example problems, we can work step by step through an unlimited number of new problems using the Generate button. The Edit Data button can help us create problems with customized input. Instructors can use this function to create problems with complete solutions to use on exams, in class, or for homework. For printed output, we can print the question. Or we can print the question with the complete solution. The free website has statistical analyses in all of the most common areas in statistics. Statsproblems.com also has a mobile version so you can access the site from anywhere. For help with statistical concepts, HelpMeWithStats.com is a free website that has more than 70 tutorials, as videos, or as self-paced slideshows. In addition, HelpMeWithStats.com gives you free access to a comprehensive stats textbook with more than 685 review questions. Thanks for watching. If you find these resources valuable, please share statsproblems.com and helpmewithstats.com with your friends and instructors.